Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum dear students. I welcome you all in today's online class. We are discussing environmental chemistry, that is chapter number 23, and the topic for today is radiation pollution. In this topic we will discuss the sources of the radiation pollution and control measures that can be opted for minimizing the effects of radiation pollution, then disposal of nuclear waste and the use of catalytic converters. Actually, radioactive substances and nuclear radiations produced during nuclear reaction affect our environment adversely, and thus radioactive pollution is created. Or simply you can say radiation pollution is the addition of radiations to environment from radioactive elements or nuclear explosions is radioactive pollution. Here comes the definition. Radiation pollution or nuclear pollution is a term that refers to the pollution caused by radioactive materials, whether it is natural or human made, such as nuclear power stations. These are human made. Radiations causes problems in human as well as in ecosystems. So you need to understand over here that radioactive substances are not only artificially generated, but these are natural as well. For example, uranium, radium, etc. These are the radioactive substances which exist naturally and emit alpha, beta, gamma type of radiations. Besides that, we also design mechanisms, we also design the projects where radioactive substances are being used and radioactive substances are being produced as well as waste, and this waste is very harmful for the life on this planet because that waste also emit different sort of radiations. You need to remember over here that low radioactive liquid waste, radioactive gaseous waste, and dust are released during explosions, and these radioactive gaseous wastes are injected into the upper layer of atmosphere, where due to cooling these condense to fine dust particles, and thus a radioactive cloud is formed. This cloud moves in the direction of the wind, settle down slowly to the surface of the earth, and thus pollutes air, water, and soil. This is how the radioactive cloud is being produced as a result of nuclear explosions. Dear students, you need to remember over here that among the radioactive radiations, gamma radiations are most dangerous ones since they have high energy and big penetrating power. And these radiations can therefore pass freely in human body where they lose energy, and they destroy the living cells by converting them into charged particles, that is ions, and these charged particles are chemically very reactive and hence disrupt, means break down the cell membrane, reduces the effectiveness of enzymes, and even damage genes and chromosomes. All this results in the diseases like leukemia and cancer, etc. So you need to remember here the 2 points. Basically, one, among all the radioactive radiations, gamma radiations are highly dangerous. And why they are dangerous? Because if they penetrate the body, they disrupt the cells. Our body is made up of cells, and they cause mutations, changes into the structure of genes. और आप ये जानते हैं कि genes जो हैं those are responsible for everything in our body, like our hair color, our eyes, and all. And small mutation at the level of at the molecular level may result into a very dangerous outcomes like cancer and leukemia, etc. So these mutations caused by gamma radiations are very dangerous and harmful. So again, here the effects of gamma radiations have been mentioned. As I have explained you earlier, that prolonged exposure to radiation often has detrimental effects on living matter. This is due to radiation's ionizing ability, which can damage the internal functions of the cell. Radiation either ionizes or excites the atoms or molecules in living cells, leading to the dissociation of molecule into an organism. Thus, most destructive effect radiation has on living matter is ionizing the radiation on DNA, means it causes mutations of the DNA. And the damage to DNA can cause cellular death. Mutagenesis means the process by which the genetic information is modified by radiation or chemicals. इसमें mutations आ जाती हैं. And genetic transformation. Effects from exposure to radiation include leukemia, birth defects, and many forms of cancer. Now, dear students, here is a very important point that nuclear radiations can both be extremely beneficial and extremely dangerous. So it does depends on how we use it. And X-ray machines, some types of sterilization equipment, and nuclear power plants all use nuclear radiations. So these nuclear radiations are having a very important role in the field of biology or in the field of medicine, etc. But in the same way, they are also used in nuclear weapons like uranium 235, etc. And nuclear materials, that is, substances that emit nuclear radiation, are fairly common and have found their way into our normal vocabularies in many different ways. Now, how we can minimize the radiation pollution? Radiation can be controlled and prevented at various levels, including the handling and treatment of radiation waste, the control and mitigation of nuclear accidents, mitigations to reduce something, to lower something, as well as the control and minimization of personal exposure to radiation at an individual level. So, very first point is about safety measurements and handling, that how you're going to handle the nuclear waste and nuclear substances. That matters a lot in reducing the radiation pollution, because if the care is being taken तो लीकेज वगैरह नहीं होता न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर्स के अंदर. And you should know that nuclear reactor uranium 235 is used as the nuclear fuel. It means that कि nuclear reactors में uranium 235 को use किया जाता है as a nuclear fuel which undergoes nuclear fission and energy is produced, and nuclear radiations are produced in the process wise mining and enrichment of uranium 235 taking place in the nuclear reactor, and these radiations can leak from the reactor and therefore damage the health of the human beings and animals. So the handling is very important. Secondly, the disposal of the nuclear waste. They must be disposed in a way, for example, they can be buried deep down into the land, the terrestrial regions, or they can be disposed of in the underwater tunnels, etc. So as has been mentioned here, the disposal of low level waste is straightforward and can be undertaken safely almost anywhere. Storage of used fuel is normally underwater for at least 5 years and then often in dry storage, and deep geological disposal is widely agreed to the best solution for final disposal of the most radioactive waste products. So question comes, why they are these waste products coming from the nuclear reactors which are highly radioactive, जो बहुत सारे radiations produce करते हैं, उनको ज़मीन के नीचे क्यों बरी किया जाता है या फिर उनको अंडर वाटर क्यों स्टोर किया जाता है? फर्स्टली तो रीज़न इज़ दैट कि इनमें से बहुत सारी रेडियोएक्टिव रेडिएशंस निकल रही होती हैं विच आर वेरी हार्मफुल फॉर आवर एनवायरनमेंट एंड द लिविंग बींग्स in this environment. Here is a very, very important long question regarding your exam and a very important topic as well. We use catalytic converters to convert the waste material of nuclear reactors into the less toxic substances. So, in the next slide, I will show you the diagram and will explain from that. But for now, I am going to tell you some basics about the converter. That the catalyst used in the converter is mostly a precious metal such as platinum. You should remember that platinum is also termed as white gold. Palladium and rhodium may also be used. Platinum is used as a reduction catalyst and as an oxidation catalyst as well. Although platinum is a very active catalyst and widely used, it is very expensive and not suitable for all applications. Thus, rhodium is used as reduction catalyst while palladium is used as oxidation catalyst um, as an alternative of platinum. So, in catalytic converter, three things happen simultaneously: the reduction of nitrogen oxide into elemental nitrogen and oxygen. नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड्स को नाइट्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन के अंदर कन्वर्ट किया जाता है. Oxidation of carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide, and lastly, the oxidation of hydrocarbons into carbon dioxide and water. So, these are the three sort of reactions occurring in the converters. And do remember that catalytic reactions do not start working in the converter until the catalyst has reached a temperature of about 200 degrees Celsius. So they are not effective until the engine has warmed up. So this is the temperature which must be acquired for the proper working of the converter. So here is a definition. You can see the inlet from where the exhaust gases of the nuclear reactors enters into the converter. These gases, nitrogen oxide and carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons, etc., enters. And then you can see different portions of this converter using different catalysts which are used for oxidation and reduction purposes. And at the end, from the outlet, you can see the water and carbon dioxide and nitrogen are being released. So those are the end products. Dear students, catalytic systems of this type cost several £100, mainly because of the high cost of the precious metal they contain. The catalyst is poisoned by lead, so unleaded fuel must always be used. Unleaded fuel must always be used. I am repeating. That was all for today. Thank you so much. Stay blessed, stay safe.